Greetings folks and welcome back to CCNArchive. In this video we're going to discuss basic configuration. We're going to do this on a switch, but you can also play along on a router if you want. Enjoy! So first things first, you'll see that now instead of just having a router and a PC, we've now brought a switch into the mix. So let's actually just take this cable here by plugging on the end and we're going to plug it into the switch's console cable right at the top there. It's console port. I'm now going to go to my PC, desktop and terminal, OK that, and I'm into my switch. Let's just half screen all of that. So I press enter and it's given me a very similar prompt that we should be used to at this stage. Press return to get started. There we are. Okay, so what are we wanting to do? We'll just quickly slide this over. So the first thing we want to do is we want to provide the device with a host name. Now I'm going to start using all my keyboard shortcuts and everything here, so hopefully you'll learn them as I'm going, okay? But I'll try to explain the long haul name of them as well as I go. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get into privilege exec mode. Now normally that would mean typing enable, however the shorthand of that is just EN for enable. There we go, EN, and there we are, straight in. So we want to change the host name from switch to something substantial, something that actually means something to us, okay? So we're going to go into configure terminal, or just conf space T for short. And we're now going to type the command host name. Now at this point we can now start issuing, we put a space and start issuing what we actually want the host name to be. So just because it's a nice easy one, I'm just going to call it my LAN-SW1, my LAN switch 1. Nice and easy. I like to always put any kind of variable style description in capitals. The main reason for that is it stands out like a sore thumb when we look at it later on. So worthwhile doing. If you need to put a variable like a host name or a description, just put caps lock on and do it. It makes it look so much better because everything else is stored in lowercase. But if you deliberately say in this variable I want it to be uppercase, it works. So there we are. So that's our host name, and you can see straight away my host name has changed from switch to my LAN-switch1. Okay. So moving on from there, we want to set up a couple of passwords. Right now, in my list here, I've got privilege exec password. So I want to make it that there is a password whenever the user types enable. Okay, so whenever we're at user mode and we type our enable command, I don't just want it to immediately go to my privilege exec prompt. I want it to issue a requirement for the user to put in a password. Okay, so to do that, we type the command enable. Oh, got my caps lock on. Doesn't matter, can leave them on, but it, if I'm typing a password, caps is important. So enable is my command, followed by the keyword secret. Okay, so enable secret. And now at this point, if I just do a quick question mark, you'll see it gives me a few options, but one of them that I'm interested in here is it says line in uppercase, and it says the unencrypted clear text of the enable secret. So what do I actually want the password to be? So the one that we normally use at this level is enable secret class, all lowercase. Okay, I'll press enter. Now if I exit and then exit again, that logs me out of this device. I press enter and I'm straight back in to my user mode. I type the command enable, or EN for short. Oh, I've put hash enable for some reason. Control-Shift-6 to stop that. So just enable, press enter. Okay, and straight away you can see it comes up with password. What is the password? We know it's class, so with all the confidence in the world, I'm going to type class. It's going to give me no indication on the screen that I'm typing at all. So this is what I mean by all the confidence in the world. CLASS, press enter. There we go, I'm in. So straight away, just to be able to get to administrative mode, privilege exec mode, we need a password. But it's not the only password that we can set up. The other one that I'd really like to do is I'd like to make it that if anyone wants to plug this cable in through the console port, that they're presented with a password as well. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go into conf t and I'm going to go into the console line. So to do that, it's line con 0, press enter. Now I'm going to put password Cisco. Okay, so that's me saying that my password is going to be Cisco, and then I'm going to issue the command log in, which is going to force someone to log in if they plug in. Now I can simulate this as well by typing exit, exit, and then exit again will log me out. Okay, so it's saying here, my LAN switch con0 is now available, press return to get started. Now as soon as I press return, saying, hey, in order to even just gain access to the device, there's a password. What is it? Okay, now this is the one that we've just set, that is Cisco. So I've typed Cisco there with all the confidence in the world. I press enter. Okay, if you happen to type it wrong, it just comes back up again. So what's the password? What's the password? And then it can say too many attempts. You know, you've not issued a correct password. But then it says press return to get started. Later on, we'll learn how to secure that a bit more like a phone, where it's after so many failed attempts, it locks you out for, you know, an extended period of time. But for now, press enter, Cisco. Okay, so that's our console password, is Cisco. Then we go back to that first one that we set up, which was type enable. And it says, okay, you want to get to administrator. There's a password to become an administrator. That one is class, C-L-A-S-S. Press enter. And there we go. We've now got that. So we've set up our enable secret, we've set up our line console password. Let's just set up our VTY line as well. We're not actually going to use it, but we're going to set it up. This is the line. If someone wanted to use Telnet to gain access to our device, we don't have the network cable plugged in at the moment, so they can't. But if someone wanted to, this is how we would do that. It's almost identical to the console line. We go into configure terminal. If you're already there, you don't need to type conft again. Yeah. But I logged out. So configure terminal, and then we're going to issue the line VTY 0 to 4. Well, actually on a switch it's 0 to 15. And what this is imagine if you've got your mobile phone and you can accept a phone call. Okay, if I only configured line VTY 0, my phone's only able to accept one call at a time. Yeah, whereas if I go 0 to 1, that means I can now accept a second call, and maybe I can manage that call in some way. Okay, so you know, being able to put one on hold whilst I speak to the other, but I can take more calls coming in. A switch can handle 15 people on it at one time through Telnet, so it can manage 15 Telnet sessions or SSH sessions at a given point. Technically 16 actually, because 0 to 15 is 16, not actually 15. Okay, because 0 counts, and if that's confusing, just count to 5, including 0 on your fingers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so hopefully that makes a bit of sense. So in this instance, line VTY 0 to 15 means we're configuring them all with the same password. All these 15 lines, we could do each individual one with a separate password if we wanted, but we'll just do it all. And we'll again say password, and then we put in what we want our password to be. So in this instance, I'll say it's Cisco again, just for fun, and then login. Same deal. So you can see there that your console line and your VTY lines are configured almost identically. Okay, I'll type exit. So at this stage, we've got our passwords in. However, they're not secure. Okay, they're not, by that I mean they're not encrypted. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, so I'm going to type exit, or you can type end if you want to get all the way back to privilege exec mode. I'm going to issue the command show running -config. Okay, or show run for short. Now if I press this, I can see my enable secret is there. That's the commands that I put in. Okay, these are commands that exist on the device, you know, as its basic build up, but I can now see enable secret, and it's encrypted that because it encrypts it using MD5. That's the joy of the administrator password. However, if I press spacebar, and spacebar again, and spacebar again, you can see now that I get down to my line cons and my line VTYs, and you can see here that the password is written in clear text for someone to see. Now the trick is, in order to view this information, you need to be logged in as administrator anyway, so encrypting it, although you know is not necessarily massively important, it will stop someone from shoulder surfing to view the password. If someone was over my shoulder right now, they could literally see that the password for the console line is Cisco. That is one step further in that they would not have been. Okay, but even in order to just see this information, I needed to be logged in as administrator, so I have that bit of security there. So to create that bit of obscurity, so that if someone were looking over my shoulder, they can't just guess what the password is, I can turn on what's called password or service password encryption. So service is the command, okay? So service, I need to be in conf t first, don't I? Conf t. So service is my command, and password encryption, or if you just put pass and tab, because I'm terrible at spelling the word encryption, you can say service password encryption and then just press enter. Okay, type end here. I'm going to issue my show run command again. Scroll to the bottom, and now you can see that my passwords are now encrypted. And they're the same because they're the same password, but it's been encrypted. It uses something called type 7 encryption, which is very easy to crack. You can actually throw it into a website very quickly and get the result within this, your click. So it's not a difficult thing to crack, but it stops someone being able to just peer over your shoulder and say, oh, that's the password for that, which is great. Okay, so that's us encrypted our device's passwords, and pretty much finally we just want to create a banner. Now banner is very easy to create, so I'll go into configure terminal again because it's a global thing, and it's banner is the command, and then we use the keyword message of the day, or MOTD. Now here's the big thing with banners. We now need to specify that a message is about to begin, and we use that by what's called a delimiting character. Okay, so what I'm going to say, I'm just going to write a very, very simple message, like this is a secure system. Okay, now the problem with this way that I've just done it at the moment is the device will recognize T as my delimiting character, meaning the beginning of the message, or is about to start as the message. And then when the next time that it sees a T, it's going to think that I have ended that message. So in this instance, even though I've written this is a secure system, the message that I would actually get is his is a secure sys. Okay, between those two T's. So what I need is two special characters in which I'm going to type this entire message. Okay, now for me, I personally like to use what's called a caret. Now a caret is when you use shift and 6. Okay, it gives that little up arrow. But you can use any character. You can use a hash, you can use an exclamation, you can use a dash, an underscore, a P, an L, an M. Okay, any character except a space is acceptable. The reason why I like caret is because it's not used very frequently in messages. Exclamation marks we use quite a bit. Quotations, you might want to quote something inside your little banner, so you don't necessarily want to use that. Question marks will just give us back what can be next, so we can't use a question mark as our delimiting character actually either. You could use an @ symbol, but you might want to include an email address in your actual banner message. So there's a few things that, although they're special characters, depending on what your banner might be saying, you might not necessarily want to use. So the reason why I like the caret is because it's not used very commonly in common text or even technological text very frequently. So that's why I like that particular character. Now I can write this is a secure system, unauthorized access is not permitted, and then I end it with another caret. So I just end that system. So now I've got these delimiting characters which say this is the beginning, this is the end, this is the message itself, and you can press enter. So there we have all of our config, all our basic config on this device done. Let's confirm that. So if I type end, and I'm going to issue the command show run. Now by issuing the show run command, we can see everything that's currently available in the running configuration. We can see there's the password encryption tool that we've enabled. Previously, when you might have noticed it had no in front of it, meaning it was turned off. Simple. There's the host name that we configured. There's our enable secret class, and if I scroll down, there's all the interfaces. We've done nothing with them yet, so that's fine. There's lots on a switch. Okay. This is my message, banner MOTD. This is a secure system. I'll actually show you that in a second as well. And then keep going down. There's our console line with its passwords, our VTY line with its passwords. Okay. And then we reach the end. Just to show you my banner as well, if I exit again. Okay. So here we have, this is my device, press return to get started. As soon as I press enter, there's my message. This is a secure system. Okay. And what was the password for the console line? It was Cisco. Enter. Enable. The password was class. And there we go, we're in. So you saw all that inside our running configuration. Now let's have a look at our startup configuration. So we can issue pretty much the same command. Show start. -config or show start also works. Okay, oh, sorry, start up. Boom. Okay, now it's saying currently there is no startup configuration because we've never saved it. So that means if we've never saved it, there's no startup file when the device powers up to pull from. So in order to save this configuration, we issue the command copy. Now, the long version of this is running -config startup-config. Okay, now I absolutely hate typing that myself, but that would be the long version of it, to say copy running config startup config. When you press enter, it comes up saying destination file is going to be this. Okay, and what it's doing in these square brackets, it's saying that is what we're going to use for default as the name of the file, which is fine. Okay, so you just want to press enter and away it goes and builds it. Okay, so now if I hit the show start command, okay, you can now see I've got all my config. I've now manually saved all my config to my non-volatile RAM space. Okay, all of that's there. So let's make one quick change and view the difference. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly change the host name. So conft host is the shorthand. I'm just going to make it LAN switch 5. Okay, so it's a completely different name now. End. Now let's have a quick look at show run, because that's what's happening at the moment, and we can see there's hostname LAN switch 5. I'm going to exit out of that and I'm going to say show start. Okay, when I do show start, okay, remember this was the name that I've changed it to. It says the host name is my LAN-switch1, meaning if I reboot this device or we suffer a power outage, when it powers back up, the host name isn't going to be what I actually want it to be because I've changed it. So that means I haven't saved that configuration properly. So let's save it by issuing the command copy run start. Okay, that's the short version of it. And there we go. Now if I have a look at my show start, you can see my host name has officially changed there as well. So that's pretty much everything that we need to do. You can do all the very, very same commands on a router as well. So just because we've worked on a switch does not mean that these commands don't work on a router as well. That's one of the great things about this system. You can do your hostname, privilege exec, console lines, VTY lines. You can encrypt the passwords. You can set up a banner, and you can use show and show run. So all of these commands work exactly the same on a router as well, which is one of the great things about this system. Other than that though, folks, that is the end of this one. Again, another long one, but another very important one. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want, like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. All the best. Catch you later.